The truth is, artists who are controversial is nothing new. Artists who operate well outside of the normal typical moral bounds go hand in hand with fame and success in the music industry, as we may like something interesting to come packaged with our artists. With some artists being documented to be drunks, druggies, who are egotistic, this isn't something alarming, as we already are accustomed to this. However, when an artist is being accused of something as evil as abusing minors or pushing drug abuse, is no longer controversy and is something that can't be tolerated and needs to be stopped. Join me in this episode as we uncover some of the biggest artists' darkest secrets. Predators in music. Recently, for what seems to be an ongoing situation with music artists being accused of sexual misconduct towards minors, with rumors that have been circulating on the internet of victims coming out to expose them for their inappropriate behavior. Apparently, one artist who is being accused goes by the name of Tokyo's Revenge. The allegations are that he has been grooming minors from young ages where he teaches them to self-harm and do sexual aggressive behaviors. If you were to ask me, it looks like he's following the demonic teachings of Aleister Crowley. As I explained in my last video, The Truth About Freemasonry, I exposed Crowley's dark obsession with children, as Crowley thought abusing children gave him magical spiritual powers. Tokyo has been growing in success and fame, just as the previous artists and athletes that partake in Aleister's sex magic rituals. With Tokyo clearly adopting a Luciferian image, which he probably promotes in his music, I wouldn't put this past him. Tokyo isn't the only one either. Rapper Kodak Black, who was recently pardoned by Trump, also has similar accusations in the past. Kodak, who is currently one of hip-hop's biggest stars, was accused of forcing himself on underage females. Kodak denied the allegations and was later pardoned for his crimes and a few other violent charges. This issue isn't only occurring in hip-hop, as it's been going on since Elvis and his obsession with minors. Elvis used to famously groom young girls and was in relationship with minors during the peak of his career. The people that partake in these rituals know what they must do to gain the world. Unfortunately, our children are often at the cost. With countless children that are affected by this, who knows how many victims actually speak out about their abuse? The many children that go missing to never be seen again wouldn't be far-fetched if they end up in the hands of these dark, disgusting, sick people. I'm not saying that all artists partake in these behaviors, for this activity is only designed for the darkest of hearts, for those who would stop at nothing to achieve ascension. Substance abuse in music. As we may know, artists tend to deal with their personal issues by self-medicating. Artists have taken drugs to combat depression and insomnia for decades. Many of the biggest artists in the music industry suffer from drug abuse, with many of them passing due to overdoses. The sad truth about this is that artists don't know that they're being manipulated. Some might do it willingly, as Future when he admitted to not really being into taking hard drugs, even though his music content is mainly based on drug consumption. He will name drop pharmaceuticals in his music as if they were name brand designer clothing. This very thing causes death and destruction to the youth that are consuming his music, as many of them start to use drugs in their day-to-day to relate more to their favorite artists. A great example of this is late artist Juice WRLD, who tragically died of an overdose. He stated in one of his interviews that he was a big fan of Future's music growing up, and that he was influenced by Future to start popping pills. Now, if you take a second to think about this, we have an artist like Future who raps about taking drugs but really doesn't do them, then influence a young man who goes on to die from using the very drugs that he's promoting. This is the sad truth for many artists, as they're trapped once they sign. They must do what they're told and promote the brands which suit their investors. With many of the same people who are invested in the music industry also being invested in the pharmaceutical drug industry, you start to see why artists embody drug culture so deeply. Music and violence. The entertainment industry knows that violence sells, with many violent movies and games being huge hits with the masses. Where violent music has its biggest following is in hip-hop. Most of hip-hop having most of their songs be about gun violence, robberies, and gangs, you can start to see its effect on the community. In Chicago, where gunning down your enemy is a tradition cherished and respected, they have seemed to embrace the violence and made a full-on subgenre of hip-hop music and called it drill music, which praises all of it. In drill music, artists probably rap about murdering their enemies and disrespecting the dead. As drill music slowly starts to pick up steam, you can see its influence on urban cities, like it's had in New York, slowly claiming more lives of urban communities. Some people say that gangster rap was created by the Freemasons. They wanted to infiltrate the upcoming Black and Spanish rap music movement that was created in the Bronx and was mainly about empowering the people. Once it started to pick up steam, they infiltrated and slowly changed the core value. Not all artists may be into these dark things, but a few are. With the music industry being a dark place for the wicked, we must protect the vulnerable. We must keep our children away from the manipulation. Thank you for watching. This was The Truth Is. Please leave a comment with your thoughts below. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. This way you'll be notified when I drop future videos. Thank you. Goodbye.